Welcome to the Rhythm and Blues Cafe. I'm your host, Ed Antonelli, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Pete Massa, my good friend. Pete is the leader of the Real Cool Cats, new band out of the Boston area. Pete, we'd like to ask you, how did you get started with the band? What inspired you?
Well, it's interesting. I really had no intention of putting together a rockabilly band, but one day I was surfing the net, and as you know, I'm a left-handed guitar player, and finding a really nice high-end instrument, it's very rare. And I came across a really nice, beautiful orange left-handed Gretsch 6120 from 1959. It wasn't an actual 1959 instrument, but it was a reissue. And it was in perfect shape, it was mint, and the price was right, so I bought it. And then when I got the guitar, I said, this has a vibe, it really has a vibe. And I thought, you know, back to, as a huge Beatles fan, some of the earlier Beatles stuff was Carl Perkins, you know, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, and they did all this stuff. And I got inspired to put together a band doing a lot of the old rockabilly from the 50s and early 60s. And that's kind of where the idea came from, and then I realized I really couldn't play it. I've never played it. I've been doing acoustic gigs for many, many years, and you know, top 40 and stuff like that. And so I said, you know, I really have to develop a repertoire. So I started learning, you know, many, many tunes by Chuck Berry, by Little Richard, did a lot of the old 40s and 50s jump blues, and really started to learn about that era, really where rock and roll came from, which is really the blues, and where the blues started to get it more into a jump blues, and that eventually became rock and roll. So early artists, Bill Haley, and folks like that. So that's kind of where it all came from. And now we throw in just about everything, but we try to keep that classic vintage vibe to anything we do. So like you'll notice we do some 80s tunes, but we do it in a vintage sort of rockabilly kind of way. So that's kind of.
So it all started with an orange Gretsch.
It started with the guitar,
That's
and then I said I got to build
guitar.
from the guitar. Yeah, it's an old vintage vibe. It really has a sound to it that like begs you to start playing old music and classic rock and roll, where it all started. And of course, you know, with that we do, from the name you can tell, we do some stray cats as well. And you know, the master of the Gretsch is Brian Setzer, so he's been a big influence as well.
And is that a Fender Amp you're using?
That is a Fender.
And what about pedals? Do you use any pedals? Or?
I do, yeah. So that's an all-tube Fender amp. It's the Fender Classic Deluxe. It's very similar with that tweed. It comes from that age, from the 1950s and 60s. It's sort of a reissue from that time. And then I use a little bit of digital delay. Back in the day, they didn't have reverb and all the special effects that we have now, but they did have what was called a tape echo. That sound, although I don't have a tape echo, it was a very complicated way of producing a slapback sound. I don't have that, and they're very rare right now, but you can duplicate that sound with a pedal called a digital delay, and I use quite a bit of that. Other than that, not too much. I do use a compressor from time to time if I'm doing some of that finger picking stuff, that Travis style picking.
Pete, what about vocal influences?
Well, I mean, as I said, I'm a huge Beatles fan. Paul McCartney is the quintessential rock and roll singer. He can sing it all, ballads, hard rock, everything in between. He's the greatest singer. He's got a tenor range, and you know, if I could sing half as good as him, I would feel an accomplished musician.
For a while you were practicing some Sam Cooke. Are you still?
I love Sam Cooke. I love Sam Cooke. He's a huge influence on me. I don't think I'll ever have half the amount of soul that he does in his voice, but the purity of his voice, the range, the emotion. You know, we do a couple of Sam Cooke tunes, like Twisting the Night Away, and I mean, he was always a barrel of fun. When you were listening to him, you knew that, you know, the song says we're having a party, and that's really what was going on. It was fun.
All right, Pete. Well, where can we see the Real Cool Cats perform live?
So we have quite a few regular gigs. We play locally at the Park Street Pub in Andover. We also have a regular rotation at the West Street Tavern in Newton. We play in a Pig's Eye in Salem. And quite a few other, if you go to our website, www.therealcoolcats.com, I think you'll be able to find all of the upcoming gigs that we have. So that might be the best way to check it out.
All right. Well, thanks, Pete. It's great to have you here. We're going to get to hear Pete's band, the Real Cool Cats. So stay tuned for some live music.
Shake my nerve and rattle my brain. To make love like a man insane. You broke my will, oh what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I like the club cause I thought I was funny. You came along and moved me, honey. My love was fine, I changed my mind. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me baby, hey it feels so good. Hold me baby, I want to love you like I love a shoe. You're fine, so kind. Got to tell the world that you're mine. You were there when I twiddled the and stayed out all night long. Baby went out and stayed out all night long. She told me her life went better way back home. She was jumping from 6 to 6, 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 jumping from 6 to 6. She got herself in a head mix. She called me up about 5:25, said, pick me up, daddy, don't want no job. 10 minutes later, the boyfriend calls, come on, baby, let's have a ball. Jumping from 6 to 6, 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 jumping from 6 to 6. She got herself in a heck of a picture. Well, my baby went out and stayed out all night long. My baby went out and stayed out all night long. So her life went better way back home. And she was jumping from 6 to 6, 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 jumping from 6 to 6. She got herself a heck of a fix. Standing door by quarter to one. Ask my daddy, did I do wrong? Stand aside, draw the back, hit me right in the eye. Jumping from 6 to 6, 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 jumping from 6 to 6. She got herself a heck of a fix. She was jumping from 6 to 6, 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 jumping from 6 to 6. She got herself in a heck of a fix. Well, it's Saturday night and I just got paid. All about my money, don't try to save. My heart said go, go. Have a time on a Saturday night. Baby, I'm feeling fine, I'm gonna rock it up. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna ball it up. I'm gonna rip it up at the ball tonight. Well, I got me a date and I won't be late. Pick her up from my 88. Drag on out to the social hall. When I start to jump, we'll have a ball. I'm gonna rock it up. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna ball it up. I'm gonna rip it up at the ball tonight. night. It's Saturday night and I just got there. Think about my money, don't try to save. My heart said go, go. Have time on Saturday night, baby. I'm feeling fine. I'm gonna rock it up. I'm gonna rip it up. I'm gonna shake it up. I'm gonna ball it up. I'm gonna rip it up at the ball tonight. Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You don't start like doing the thing you used to do. 'Cause I was motivating over the hill. I caught Maybelline and I cooped the bill. Cadillac rolling on the open road. Nothing like run my V8 Cadillac doing about 9 to 5. Bumper to bumper, rolling side to side. Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You don't start like doing a thing you used to do. Cadillac doing about 104. Ford got hot, it wouldn't do no more. Then it got cloudy and it started to rain. I took them home for a passing lane. Rainwater blowing up under my hood. I knew that I was doing my road again. Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You don't start like doing a thing you used to do. Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You don't start like doing a thing you used to do. The motor cooled down, the heat went down. That's when I heard the highway sound. Cadillac sitting like a ton of lead, 110 to half a mile ahead. Cadillac looking like it's sitting still. I caught Maybelline at the top of the hill. Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? You don't start like doing the thing you used to do. I'm just out of school and I'm a real cool. I got the job, I got the job, I got the message, I'm alive, I'm a wild one. Oh, yes, I'm a wild one. I'm gonna keep it shaking, I'm gonna keep it moving, baby. Don't you break my style, I'm a real wild child. Come on, baby, shake it all night long. Take to the music, come out on the bone, 'cause I'm a wild one. I'm a wild one. I'm gonna keep it shaking, I'm gonna keep it moving, baby. Don't you break my style, I'm a real wild child. I'm gonna pick you up in 988. Get ready, sugar, now don't be late. We're gonna move it all night long. Whole lot of shaking going on, 'cause I'm a wild one. Yes, I'm a wild one. I'm gonna keep it shaking, I'm gonna keep it moving, baby. Don't you crack my style, I'm a real wild child. Well, it really gets moving when the sun goes down. And I'm the dark, I can really get around. We're gonna move when we get very hot. When we start popping, when we're shark and something, I'm a wild one. Yes, I'm a wild one. I'm gonna keep it shaking, I'm gonna keep it moving, baby. Don't you crack my style, I'm a real wild child. Yes, I'm a real wild child. I'm a real wild child. I'm a real wild child. I want child. Sometimes I feel I've got to run away. I've got to get away from the pain driving to the heart of me. The love we share seems to go nowhere, and I'm twisting, twisting the night away. Here's a man in evening clothes. How they got it, I don't know. Man, you gotta see them go, twisting the night away. Dancing with the chicken slacks, she's moving up and down. Man, there ain't nothing like twisting the night away. Twisting, twisting, everybody feeling great. Yeah, they're twisting, twisting, twisting the night away. Yeah, they're twisting, twisting, everybody feeling great. Yeah, they're twisting, twisting, twisting the night away. Here's a man in blue jeans, dancing with an old queen, who's dolled up in the diamond rings, twisting the night away. Man, you gotta see them go, twisting to the rock and roll. Yeah, they got the young and old, twisting the night away. Yeah, they're twisting, everybody feeling great. Yeah, they're twisting, twisting the night away. Sing it again, boys. Twisting, everybody feeling great. Yeah, they're twisting, twisting the night away. Train to ride, 16 coaches of home. Train to ride, 16 coaches of home. Long black train, yeah, took my baby and gone. Train, coming round, round. chair. Now when I get the blues, I get me a rocking chair. If the blues overtake me, I rock right away from here. Now when I get lonesome, jump on the telephone. Now when I get lonesome, I jump on the telephone. Well, I call my baby, tell her I'm on my way back home. You know what I say, boys? I said flip, flop, and fly. I don't care if I die. I said flip, flop, and fly. I don't care if I die. Don't ever leave me, don't ever say goodbye. Now give me one more kiss, hold it a long, long time. Give me one more kiss, hold it a long, long time. Now love me, baby, till the feeling hits my head like wine. Here come my baby, rising a new gold tune. Here come my baby, rising a new gold tune. Well, she's so small, she can mama with a big old blue. Come on, boys, sing it with me. I said flip, flop, and fly. I don't care if I die. Flip, flop, and fly. I don't care if I die. Don't ever leave me, don't ever say goodbye. Come on, let's hear some saxophone. Like a Mississippi bullfrog sitting on a hollow stone. Like a Mississippi bullfrog sitting on a hollow stone. I got so many women, don't know which way to jump. Sing it, boys. I said flip, flop, and fly. I don't care if I die. Flip, flop, and fly. I don't care if I die. Don't ever leave me, don't ever say goodbye. Come on, boys, let's hear it one more time. That's some saxophone.
All right, so here we are back at North Andover Cam with Pete Massa from the Real Cool Cats. I hope you've enjoyed his live music performance. Did a great job, Pete.
Thank you.
Band sounds
it was
fantastic.
Fun, and thank you for having us here. We enjoyed it, and it was a blast.
Yeah, and we can go to the website once again.
www.therealcoolcats.com.
Find out where you're playing live and get out there and support live music. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, North Andover Music Academy and the Acoustic Arts Agency. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.